The clock on my bedside table glowed. 3 o'clock, its light sharp enough to slice through the dark, yet the heavier silence was what woke me. Not a noise, but the absence of a familiar presence, a hollow space in the house. For 10 years, I was dealt a force. A life that teaches the crucial difference between simple danger and a genuine threat. And this was danger. The kind that grips your throat. I reached for my phone, disturbed not by the time, but by a single notification. A voice memo from an unknown number that sent a sickening pit straight to my stomach. I hit play and heard a blast of static, a muffled cough. Then her voice, high and thin, saying, "Uncle Jake, I'm scared." The voice of my niece, Lily, my sister's kid, my everything. A low, non-American accented voice cut in with an order. "Mr. Riley, you will listen." The worst sound followed. Not a scream, but a soft, broken sob. The kind a child makes after they've stopped fighting. The man continued calmly, "We have your girl. We know who you are." The ghost. 10 years of the United States Army's finest black ops. All for this moment. The price is simple. We will contact you again at 0600 hours. Be ready to follow our instructions. The final noise made the blood freeze in my veins. A fragment, a whisper of a song, my lullaby, the one my sister and I made up about a firefly named Flicker, which I taught, Lily, and which no one else knew. I threw the phone across the room, shattering it against the wall, realizing they were not demanding gold or Bitcoin, but were in my head. "Their ransom, call a declaration. We know your soul." Stumbling into the living room, a tidal wave of adrenaline hit me. But instead of panic, I felt cold, focused, instantly back in the field, with stakes higher than any mission profile, because this was personal. This was family. Lily's bedroom door was open, the stuffed unicorn still on the pillow, the window slightly ajar, just enough for a shadow to slip through, confirming they were professionals, ghost hunters, who hadn't needed to break down a door. After 10 years training to hunt shadows, and to be the shadow, I was the target. A strangely freeing thought, eliminating rules or a chain of command, leaving only a father's rage disguised as a soldier's skill set. I went to the basement where my civilian life ended, pulling the false wall to reveal the heavy steel safe, opening it with a quick, familiar mechanical click to retrieve the essentials. I checked the time, 3:21, leaving 3 hours and 39 minutes, which I used to silently assemble my kit, determined not to wait for their instructions, but to pursue the only lead I had. The lullaby. I couldn't call the FBI or the police, yet, understanding this wasn't a standard kidnapping for money, but for livrit, a payback from a ghost of a former life who knew my past targets. I pulled up an old secure server, a rabbit hole, I swore. I did never rebiseat, and ran algorithms on the voice memo, attempting to isolate the Balkan accent Bosnian, maybe on the low, generic hum of background noise, possibly a generator. The military taught me discipline and precision, but the love for Lily taught me something else. Recklessness. The lullaby kept playing, forcing me to realize they must have gotten it from my sister, Sarah, who was at an architectural conference in San Diego and due back tomorrow, meaning they found her first, extracted the information, and then took Lily from my house in Virginia. They were toying with me, using the lullaby not to prove they had Lily, but to prove they had total, intimate access to my private world. I closed my eyes for a count of 10, opened them, and the chaos was gone. I was DELTA again. My mission, the only thing that existed, running a quick check on known targets who had disappeared off the grid in the last 2 years, finding the list too short. The phone rang at 0530, early, accelerating the timeline. I picked up on the secondring.com and focused, simply stating, "You are early." The same cold accent replied, acknowledging, "We are flexible, and you are desperate. We know you did not call for help." "Good. You understand the rules." When I demanded, "Where is she?" he dismissed it. "Your concern is touching, but unnecessary. We want something you are protecting." A file. From 3 years ago. Operation Cerberus, the data on the asset known as the Professor. My breath hitched. Cerberus, classified top secret, meant this wasn't just payback. but a leak at the highest level of government. People connected to deep intelligence. I lied. The file doesn't exist anymore, which was met with mocking laughter. A soldier's lie. Predictable. We will give you a new number. A clean phone. You will load the file onto it, and you will come to the drop point. Alone. If you are late, or if the FBI is even alerted to a missing cat in your neighborhood, she suffers. Lily's thin voice returned. Uncle Jake. I'm cold. The lie died in my throat, and I choked out. I'll do it. Just keep her warm. The line went dead. I looked at the shattered phone, at the clock. 0531. Less than an hour to retrieve a file that would compromise national security, or lose the only family I had left. They gave me a choice between my duty to the flag and my duty to my blood. A choice they thought would destroy me, but they were wrong. They gave me exactly what I needed. A target. The ransom wasn't the file. The ransom was me, and I was coming for them. You just heard a whisper of the kind of relentless fight a soldier like Jake Riley faces when his world collapses. If you felt that cold dread and that surge of desperate focus, I need you in the fight. Tell me your plan. Would you risk everything and call in one favor from your old life, or would you go completely rogue?